If you guys have not taken an on-course lesson, I would highly recommend it because you just learn so much about your game and in an organic setting. I feel like hitting balls on the range with your coach, you can only learn so much about your game. Like for instance, I could tell Tim that I'm hitting my irons great, my driver is going great, and I very well might be hitting that great inside on the range when there's not a lot of pressure. However, that can all change when I'm on the course. I could do things slightly differently. He can just see how I play shots. We can talk about course management, which I think is a key to lowering scores. There's just so much that you learn on the course that you're just not exposed to when you're just hitting inside on the range where there's no real consequences or anything like that. So I did record the first hole for you guys, me and Tim playing. However, to get the most of this on-course experience, we decided to put the camera away afterwards, just so that we could get immersed in all of this. But I will recap at the end everything that I learned, and I did learn a lot, so you better be taking some notes. And guys, if you're new here, my name is Chonger. I'm an average golfer with the goal of trying to get to scratch. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, follow along on this journey with me as I document my weekly lessons, talk about different gear and gadgets that help me improve, and so much more. I hope to see you guys along with me on this journey. And with that being said, let's roll this on-course footage. First hole is a driver hole, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can hit kind of anything. It's, you know, this golf course really sets up nicely if you're playing hole number 1 first and then kind of get to the back 9.
Okay.
Because this is probably one of the toughest holes on the golf course.
Okay.
It's just, you'll see when we get over the hill, it's a green that is just challenging to sort of come into. This tee shot is a little corkscrewed. So it's like the walking path is the middle of the fairway, but the hole looks like it's a bit of a dog leg to the right.
Okay.
If you play it down the right, you probably just run into the rough. If you play it too far to the right towards those trees,
Yep.
you can get behind the trees. If you kind of go down the left-hand side without going like way left, it gives you a little bit better angle into the pin or into the hole. Do
Okay.
you want me to go first, or do you want to go first? What would you like?
You can go first.
Sure, yeah. I got a Titleist 1 with a black line on it.
Pardon?
I got a Titleist 1.
Okay, my ball's
a dash.
has my logo on it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I got a black line there on the side. So I look at those two like two kind of like spruce looking tree, or I guess what are those? Maybe like pine trees that are just right in front of us there on like the left edge of the path. So I'm trying to like favor a little bit more left on this hole
okay.
if I can. Not crazy left, but you'll see kind of where I'm aiming this thing. I just got that moving too far right. It's it. Okay, we're going Adventureland right off the bat.
Am I allowed to ask you for tips right off the way, or you
Of
want to see me
course.
play organically?
No, of course.
Because, okay, so for instance, with the driver, right,
Yeah.
we've been focusing last lesson at
Yeah.
trying to kind of favor the right side,
Yeah.
for instance, but you said on this hole you want to aim down the left side. So how does that kind of, when it contradicts kind of what you are?
So take it like halves. Like you have like from center of the fairway to the left edge of the fairway, or like even into the rough, and then take the right side and from center to the right side. So you get like 2 halves of the fairway.
Yep.
And then between those halves is like your center line.
Yep.
So like when you want to hit it more down the left side, you kind of like move the whole window over to the left, rather than like, I'm gonna like pull this hard down the left side. Just turn a little bit and know that you want some variant. If you make a mistake, if you mishit it, that the ball can just sort of fall into, where you want it. Obviously, anywhere right on this hole is alive still.
Okay.
Left here is out of bounds. So if you go
Yeah.
far enough left, it can be in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you probably don't need to gamble going hard down the left.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of room to maneuver on the right side.
Okay.
Okay, it'll be in the rough up there. We're gonna bring that tee height way down,
Yeah.
especially for on course,
okay.
so that you can kind of catch this with a little bit more spin, right? It's nice when it's up there, but you have to kind of be like 5 or 6 degrees up at the golf ball, otherwise you're not gonna get it.
Right, I forgot to.
Yeah, that's okay.
We were working on that.
So we kind of want to make sure that like short is okay here.
Yeah.
Like very, very okay here.
Well, I think right now, obviously, I can't make it there.
Yeah.
In on the green, so I'm probably obviously I see the bunker on the right.
Yeah.
On the left, that's 230.
Yeah.
And 225. So I think I might just play kind of to like a 100 shot in.
Okay.
Or
if you do
what
that,
you think?
because of the way this hole's designed,
Yeah.
it's on a severe downslope almost all the way to the pin.
Yeah.
So for this one in particular, you're probably not in the best position to lay it up because you're going to have a weird uneven lie, like a downhill lie.
Just want to get as close as possible then?
I think so. And
Okay.
even like the bunkers short of the green are okay.
Okay.
So like this is one that you'd want to like, you can put enough into it where you don't really want to leave it on the downslope too much.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
can just
Yeah, you can
take
go
my
ahead and
5-iron.
pick your spot. Exactly. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Really good.
Probably as best as I could do for
Yeah,
that.
really, really good. Yeah, that was a great shot. I'd probably even just release like just short or maybe on. Or just short, for sure. Took a big bounce. Maybe like 20-ish short. Yeah, just in front there. Okay. That's actually better that it's behind these things here. Easy peasy.
How do you necessarily decide
150 side.
when you're with the trees to go either through or over?
So over takes out all the trees.
Yeah.
If I have to go through, I have to be certain that I'm not gonna like interact with them.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to just, well, I've got enough, I'm close enough to the green that I could probably hit a 9-iron up
Yeah.
over those trees and not really worry about it. But sometimes it's really just like, it's just you're kind of forced into whatever you want there. I've got a good lie.
Yeah.
And I'm probably just standing on the edge of the cart path. I could take a drop, but I'd have to go that way more, which brings the tree in a bit more. And I don't know what my lie is going to be like after this. So I kind of like this lie. I kind of like the position that's here. And I've got a nice little window to sort of go up through this thing. So I just find my target line, trying to get it up through there. Now I've got an intermediate target there. And now if I do a good job of just getting it over top of this piece of grass, and we're going to take it way up in the air, I think we got it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so like 12, 15 feet just right of the hole. For your shots, if you get a chance, when you're chipping or pitching back onto the green,
Yeah.
you probably want to walk from like where your ball's gonna, like where you're gonna deal with the landing back to your golf ball.
Okay.
Especially if it's a place that you don't really know. Like if you get the option,
Yeah.
it's always nice to kind of walk up and see it. But rather than just walking straight back there and guessing, I'm gonna take my loop through here. Because really what you're gonna see is everything's gonna like zip off this green. Like once it hits here, it's gonna start to go there. It's gonna start to go pretty fast. This is one of the only greens at Shaughnessy that's like tilted this way, like away from a player. So your landing areas, you gotta be kind of cute with this thing to get it to be close.
Yeah.
But you also want to just know that you've got this golf ball on the green.
Yeah. I think my first chip of the day
Yeah.
maybe might not get the most cute with it. Like I think we were talking about before, just if you have the option of getting on the ground.
Yeah, if you can get it inside of where my golf ball is, inside 15 feet or so, we get a chance of like making a putt. For sure. You also, on the other side of the hole, coming back up, you would have the uphill putt, which would be a little bit easier too. So you got lots of things working for you if you can get it past the hole.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to kind of
Yeah,
do a
a
little
little solid contact,
back foot kind of
Perfect.
chip.
Yeah, perfect.
So do I want to obviously I guess land this a bit short of the green and kind of have it roll on? Is that kind of
Yeah,
the...
but like to your point, right? Not too cute with it.
Yeah, okay.
Trajectory, kind of keeping it down and letting it run up. It's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. Okay, I got my read at like a 1. It's coming back up the hill, so it's going to be like a little slower than yours for
I
sure.
have it slightly, I guess, a little
Yeah, a little bit.
down,
Yeah.
but this doesn't feel like too much.
No, it's just the greens they'll still be pretty fast. They look like they've grown a little bit, which is nice, but they'll still be pretty slick out here. Yeah.
Didn't really move.
If you can keep it inside the circle, then we are good for men's night. Yeah, great line. It's just speed. These are 11, maybe.
That was a lot faster than
They'll get pretty, you know, like we'll see some greens that'll be really, really fast with some tilt and a little bit of extra sun. But yeah, that the downhill fast greens, shiny. It's all right. I think you hit 2 pretty good putts there. Now, in a perfect world, you didn't hit 3 very good putts though.
That was a bad putt.
You obviously didn't have like a full warm-up session where you got the greens dialed in and you're hitting a bunch of balls. So we'll treat a couple of these holes just like that, just figuring it out a little bit too. So like your putt, if it's an 11 on the stimp with the tilt there, this thing is like a 13 almost, right?
Yeah.
Like we're just adding footage to some of these like falling putts. Whereas even, you know, like my putt, I didn't hit it very hard and it still got past the hole and it still kind of like ran on its line a little bit.
Okay, so the first thing I want to address is the putting. And I know I just posted a putting lesson before this, and you might think, oh, your putting is trash. And I agree, it wasn't the best in this particular on-course experience. It just taken me a bit of time to calibrate my new putting stroke. I just don't have the feel down quite yet. I'm rolling the ball a lot better than what I had before. And also the greens at Shaughnessy are a lot faster than some of the public courses that I play. However, missing those tap-in putts is inexcusable. And I actually missed a few that round, but Tim gave me a useful tip, and after implementing it, I did not miss a single tap-in putt after that. So first, let's talk about why you probably will be missing those tap-in putts. I think the first thing is the pressure just gets to you. Now, I know it's a relatively short putt, and because of that, I think you tell yourself, this is so easy, you should make it, but if you don't make it, then it's kind of embarrassing. That kind of just adds more pressure onto you. And so when you aren't really feeling totally confident, you can do a lot of things that you aren't fully aware of. You can kind of have a jaggedy stroke, not smooth. You could kind of alter the face. You just do a lot of things that can kind of set the putt offline. And I think the thing that you have to remember is with these tap-in putts, the putt won't really break outside of the hole. Just aim for dead center and make a confident stroke and you will make it. Just think about all those times when you're kind of putting for a double bogey and you don't really care about it. You're kind of off balance on one leg. You kind of just do a little tap in, don't even aim it up, right? But the ball goes in the hole. Exactly, because you're not really feeling any pressure on this situation and you're just making a confident stroke into the hole. So you just have to apply that same mentality. I know it's inevitable. You will feel nerves on this putt sometimes, and if that happens to you, then Tim gave me this very useful tip, and this is what exactly you need to do. Go behind the ball, line up your putter face to the hole, make sure it's lined up square, walk in confidently, and just look down. Make sure after you putt, don't lift your head up because that will cause your putting stroke to go offline. Just keep your head down and make sure that your putter head interacts with the back of the ball. And you just have to tell yourself that this putt is gonna go straight. You just have to trust it. Trust that you lined it up before and just trust that you're making a straight stroke at it and it's gonna go straight. So the next big thing I learned is about laying up for different holes, and you would have caught this on the first hole. I think I was like 240 yards away from the green, and there were some greenside bunkers surrounding the hole, so I was a little bit scared to kind of hit anything close to the green just because, you know, my bunker game wasn't that strong, which I actually took a lesson after this. So after that, then my bunker game feels great. But me at the time of taking this lesson, very unconfident about bunkers. So I wanted to leave myself way short of those bunkers. I wanted to leave myself like 100 yards in. However, Tim told me, you're going to be on a severe downslope. And so that is actually worse than being in a bunker. So it's kind of one of those things when you're picking your layup target to consider everything, not just the actual distance. Think about hazards, think about where you'll be on the course, because you have to obviously evaluate your situation and just pick the best out of all of those outcomes. So another hole that had a potential layup was this drivable par 4. It was just over 300 yards, but it did have some greenside bunkers surrounding it. My initial thoughts was I'm going to just hit a 200 yard, like 5-iron, get something out there, have like 100 something yards into the green, because I wanted to avoid bunkers at all cost during this lesson. However, that layup would not be good because there were trees left and right. And so if you were in that kind of 100-yard area, yeah, you might have a nice wedge in, but if you're caught left or right, then trees would be trouble. Instead, Tim said, take it back to 150 yards, because if you do miss left or right, you are behind the trees far enough that if you need to, you can hit the ball over those trees and still make a shot on the green. So that's another situation where you might not just want to be thinking about laying up to a particular distance. Picking a spot on the course that avoids all bad outcomes is also something you need to consider when laying up. So I did just that. I hit a 150-yard shot in, had another 150 yards into the hole. However, when I got there, I realized I'm still faced with these bunkers surrounding the green. And I thought, like an 8 or 9-iron still has that dispersion left or right where I'm not guaranteed to actually hit it onto the green. And knowing that, maybe I would have hit the driver. But Tim said that you can only think about your current shot at the particular moment. For instance, if I was on the tee and I had my layup shot to go 150 yards in, but I knew that my second shot going in could have potentially also been in those like bunkers, then my first shot might not have been as confident as it was, and that could have led to a different outcome. So you can only just think about your current shot. Don't worry about the next shot. Just make your best attempt at that shot. So speaking of an 8-iron, an 8-iron is actually a very useful club if you're stuck in the trees and you need to punch back into the fairway. This is something I did not really do before. I never punched laterally. I always just tried to find an opening going forward a little bit and just trying to punch through that if I had to. However, this is where you can compound mistakes, and Tim said you should only be trying to go forward if you have a realistic expectation that you could make birdie, and if you could confidently make this shot 8 out of 10 times. If you can't, then it's just better to just pitch back into safety and just accept bogey, because bogeys are a lot better than doubles or triples, which could happen if you are stuck in the trees for a lot of the hole. So that'll conclude this video. I hope you found it insightful. I know by going through this on-course lesson, I learned so much. And I think the biggest takeaway from me was just about the layups, because I used to lay up to a particular distance. I didn't really think about anything else. But now I'm considering where you will be on the course, what kind of hazards are there, any tree trouble, just a lot more things that I'm considering. And so it was great for Tim to see me out playing around and just being in a more organic setting. Just also witnessing him make some shots and how he plays the holes, that was also super helpful for me to see as well too. And so yeah, I hope that this kind of persuaded you to take an on-course lesson, because I cannot highly recommend it enough. And I'm sure I'll be taking some more as time progresses as well too. And so guys, hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, smash that like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.